Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Yes. Right. So this is surprisingly exactly where I left it last time. So it must save when you quit. Right.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
That many crawl spaces in this house. No, not back out of it.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
That's psycho. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. So each family member it goes through, you can sort of play the story a little bit.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time.
Oh, hey, Mom.
Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
Alright, I'm controlling the frog. I was waiting for something to happen. What am I supposed to do? Pop all these?
What his road was like.
You know?
It reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
I'm not 100% sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Aha. try and get back on that whale?
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Boing? What am I supposed to do? Go down the plug hole. Or follow whatever the letter's on.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory.
Well, that's mad.
About everything.
Where have you got oh yeah, you're a frog, aren't you? Alright.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
Take it, I gotta pull the plug out.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
That's pretty psycho, so did the baby drown or something? Kinda looks that way. Everybody else has flipping died. Yep. It's actually quite a depressing game. Alright, where to next?
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
That's a big ass kite. Not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing at this point. Maybe something to do with that boat there.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Ooh. Aha.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
We only made a right mess of them.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Let's destroy the wedding. Okay. It's not very obvious where you need to go next on this one. I wish that... Alright. I know it was something like that.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
That's
She
another
never
dead
talked
one.
about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Well, it was pointless, wasn't it? He didn't say what happened to him.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Oh, disappeared. I've got a feeling you're near the end of the game. There's no more people left on the tree.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Where's the jump mechanics? Alright, try go up here.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
This is one
After
crazy
he graduated,
house.
he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Got a gaming PC.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of
Fucking
himself.
hell. Grab a fish then, Trev. Quite satisfying, that.
In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
I'll chop his fingers off, innit? Guaranteed. What are you supposed to do now? You're supposed to put your hand in there or something. Yeah, what are you supposed to do? His mind began to...
wander.
Alright, you're controlling him now. That's psycho. Right, it's supposed to follow this line.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining
Do I
a
need to feed
labyrinth.
them fish or just do this bit?
He'd feel his way about.
Oh yeah, because you can't see where you're going, can you?
Then something moved. Bats.
He's gonna chop his fingers off in a minute.
And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
I've just gone round in a bloody circle, haven't I? Huh? Alright, back up there. I'm sure that's where I just came from.
Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Till he chops his fingers off.
And one day it struck him.
See it come in. Have you gone? Oh yeah.
That all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
He was on flipping LSD, mate.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
Pretty awkward trying to control your boat thing and do this fish thing at the same time.
New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a...
Well, you can take your own course, can't you?
Beautiful
Handsome
prince.
Queen! Oh, right, too late.
The prince was on his own quest for...
Oh, you can slow down the ship, actually. Sinister serpent.
sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his
Electric sitar.
electric sitar.
What happens if you pick a different path? The story's going to end the same way, pretty much, isn't it?
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Trying to do the bloody fish things and control
But he was
this
so
dude
proud
as well.
of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Alright, mate. Is that me? Is that what I was doing? Okay, I'm going on here.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Uh-oh. Why is it a flipping guillotine? Your head's good in that fish thing, innit?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Damn, stick his flipping head in it.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Sounds like me. Open it then.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
The hell of them.
But I understand why we left.
There's a tape. There's Dave's tape gun.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now was to tell you about that last night.
That's mad, isn't it? There's all them little things from that guy's imagination.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
She's supposed to be Indian, but she sounds Chinese. Right, which way do you go, over there, or...?
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground.
I want to go to the old house.
There'd been an earthquake
Hopefully.
out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
This is how Grandma died.
I got turned
Obviously.
around.
You got turned around? It's a Mr. Balling video. Fucking, I've got turned around as well.
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Oh, I've gone to the old house.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again.
Bye, Grandma.
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
What do you mean already gone like that?
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
Cover your fucking mouth.
She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
This is a fucking depressing game.
And then I was alone.
I'll tell you that.
The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Well, how she bloody died. What? So you wasn't that girl all along? I need an explanation video for that one. That was so sad and depressing. Well, there you go. It's a show. Didn't really understand the end, but hey. It's a beautifully made game, but especially for £4.50, it's worth a go. That ending, I didn't quite get it. I mean, how did the main girl die? It's a cool story. And it is more like an interactive story rather than a game. I just didn't understand the ending quite. But it's very cool. Won't be playing that again. It was alright. Well, you know, about 2 hours gameplay.